There's a few things for me, if I think long enough. There's a few things that I'd risk it all over. Yeah. And it's not just mistreatment of my family.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scores and Assists, where we break down the latest headlines and bring you fresh takes on everything sports and culture. From trending news to game highlights and hot debates, we've got it all. Hit the subscribe button and stay in the loop. So in a recent live show, comedian Dave Chappelle took aim at Palestinian-American artist DJ Khaled for his silence on the ongoing war in Gaza. The moment, which took place in Etihad Arena as part of Abu Dhabi comedian season, came when an audience member shouted out Khaled's name. Then Dave Chappelle responded by roasting the producer. Chappelle's remarks touched on a criticism that has been circulating for months. In February 2024, DJ Khaled's cousin cut ties with him over his continued silence.
Dave Chappelle went off on Khaled. I don't say go off, I don't want to overstate it, but in his comedy bit, he's done it a few times, but recently it's come up again where he has said, I got an issue with DJ Khaled for being completely silent on Gaza, being completely silent on Palestine. He has been forever, even before October 7th. I guess, and I've had that criticism of Khaled too. I've been sort of quiet about it a little bit because I don't think it's my place to tell.
Yes, you do.
What'd you say?
Yeah, sure you do.
I think it's my place to say that at home.
Got it.
But like, I wouldn't go to a woman and say you need to speak up more about women's issues. I wouldn't go to a Jewish person and say you need to speak up more about Jewish issues. Like,
that makes sense.
It's like, it's weird for me as a non-member of that group to tell somebody of that group how they need to handle their group. Mm-hmm. So that's the only. But when Palestinians say, I be retweeting the shit out of it, right? I amplify like a motherfucker, but I'm not going to lead that charge because I don't think it's my place. I guess my question is though, should we be expecting? Is it wrong to expect famous people who represent a particular group that's catching hell to say something about it? Like, is that a fair expectation?
I think in this particular circumstance, yeah, there is an expectation that you speak up for it. Just because we're watching an act of genocide. It's not just some garden variety oppression. We're watching an act of genocide happen. And these are your people, and you're silent, yes.
And it ain't but three of y'all.
There's an expectation.
The other thing for me is if there were like 100 famous Palestinians out there, like,
exactly.
It's Gigi Hadid, she's doing it. You know what I mean? There's so few that I feel like you have a greater burden.
So to those that do it, what happens when they go out and speak out? Is there any type of ramifications?
They make that list and Marcus on.
So I don't have a dog
to get us on the list. He want plus ones.
I don't have a dog in the fight. If I'm Khaled, all right, I say something and now all of this is at risk. Some people it's not worth it, yo. I've had conversations I've had conversations with some athletes during when Kaepernick first took the knee. Mm-hmm. And my man, he was like, yo, I want to take the knee to support. He was like, but yo, I do that, I risk losing this. He ran down a list of people that depend on me to bring the check home.
I get it.
Some people put that shit on the scale and be like, yo, I'm with you, but I can't be with you.
Yeah, and that's why those people have a word for those people, though.
Right. Y'all can have that word for rich.
That's all.
And I think again,
I'm a rich.
I think it depends on whose people it. Again, if somebody says to me, black people said to me all the time after I got fired from CNN, like, yo, like, what?
It wasn't your fight, why'd you say anything?
Right. And while I disagree, I understand that argument, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think anybody would have said if I got fired for speaking up for Black Lives Matter.
No, they wouldn't.
You get what I'm saying? So with the NBA player, during the pandemic and during the George Floyd protests and all of that stuff, even during the bubble, I had a lot of off-the-record conversations with NBA players. We actually held a couple of like private sessions, like teach-ins and things like that with active NBA players, some of whom were all-stars. And a lot of them said, I want to speak up, but I'm afraid to. And it wasn't until Dwayne Wade and Chris Paul.
Once the Don Dadas that are too big for the league to discipline came forward and said, yo, we standing for this now, everybody else.
Then everybody did it. So there is, but that's why you need the big names to come forward.
True.
So, you know what I mean? And that's why for me, it's important for the biggest star in the game to say something.
It's different.
Say more.
That's a different situation. It's a different situation. Because if LeBron comes forth, let's just say, in your example.
You got your Muffin shirt on again?
Yo, man. Anyway, it was LeBron, Chris Paul,
Dwayne Wade.
Because Chris Paul was one of the head of the
he was the head of the Players
Association at the time. Mm-hmm. So just say 4 or 5 of the top dudes that come forth. They're too big and too important for the NBA to dismiss them.
Yeah.
Khaled on the other end, and I'm not taking up for him, I'm just pointing out the differences.
Right, be careful.
he could go without
game don't miss
music,
a
and
beat.
music don't stop. You understand what I'm saying? If LeBron James not playing, D Wade not playing, the NBA's bottom line gets affected. If Khaled don't put out another album, music keeps going.
The world keeps going. No, I agree.
And you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of apples and oranges in that respect.
I'm only saying that you need big people to lead the charge.
But we don't know who he's in business with that it may affect.
And
that's my point.
Right? I think some people pick their family and their business over anything that's going on in the world, over the cause. And I'm not saying it's right. I do agree, and we do wonder why you didn't say. I mean, he's doing more or representing more for Jamaica, by bringing and collaborating that looks away than speaking on Palestine. But we do see the effects of people who speak on Palestine.
There's a word for that too. Right? Yeah, for a lot of things we talk about up here, there's words.
There's words. We do see the effects of people that speak on Palestine. You just mark, so you're able to move around. But other people,
if I could be fine, Khaled.
It kind of seems to have worn off too.
Yeah,
Look at the.
And let's keep it loaded. Miz is here.
I can't hear you say it again.
Let's keep it loaded. Miz works here now.
Too late.
You think it's not just alert everybody that he's employed here.
Didn't the lady Rachel? She said one thing.
Oh, Miss Rachel, yeah.
Miss Rachel. That's what I'm saying. So they're showing that when you stand up for Palestine and Gaza and speak against, I guess, the oppressors or whatever, however it's looked at, that there's some disciplinary actions that happen to your pockets, to your brand, and maybe Khaled just chose I don't want to say anything, even though it looks away. He took a stance.
Yeah, and to Khaled, one thing I'll say in Khaled's defense, it's not really his defense, but it's not like he's loud on other things and quiet on this. His whole brand is to be non-threatening. His whole brand is to be apolitical, to be about fun and good times and speaking these kind of God did, life is good. It's all joy and he's not a controversial. He doesn't want to be controversial. So I understand that. It's not like he's picking this one. But to me, this is the issue where I would have liked to hear him.
We the best is on the
I would like to ask a lot of people who got a lot to say about Khaled if them speaking out on whatever issue mattered to them would mean they lose their job and would have a hard time getting another job. Would they speak out? A lot of people, there's some that's just, I'll find another way, I'm with it. But the majority, I believe, are going to sit there and say, no, I'm not, I can't risk that.
I agree. And just to tie this up, for me, I understand it. And I think we have to be strategic too, right? I don't think everything we should be dying for, everything we shouldn't be losing our jobs for. I think we have to be tactical. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's always a reason not to be courageous. And the more influence and the more power you have, the more you can be courageous, but also the more you have to lose. And so for some people, they say, you know what? I mean, at the height of his fame, at the height of his success, Muhammad Ali refused the draft. He wasn't going to go to war. He wasn't going to have a gun. They wanted him to do boxing exhibitions. They wanted him to just go around the world and travel and box in front of him. There was no risk to him. But he gave up his title in a sport that you don't get better as you get older.
Right.
You don't punch. I seen this slap. You don't get better at fighting as you get older. So he made a decision to risk it all. Because a principle mattered. You know what I mean? And for me, that's the tradition we should be following a little bit.
And I think there's
times has changed, Mark.
More of the other ones than there are Muhammad Ali.
It always was, even back then.
A lot more.
Yeah.
And I think Khaled and those like Khaled fall in that other basket. That's all.
What do y'all want to lose your careers over? What would y'all be want to lose your careers over? And I don't mean your family. If there are issues.
It's a great question.
My family. That's literally the only thing.
No issues, no struggles,
No.
Not today.
There's a few things for me. If I think long enough, there's a few things that I'd risk it all over.
Yeah.
And it's not just mistreatment of my family.
It's tough.
It is.
Like if you lost everything, if you losing everything could make the collective succeed further, would you do it?
And that's what people have
who all gonna be there?
An objection.
Who in the collective?
People's objection will be, if I did X, Y, and Z, and I for certain knew that it would mean
what the outcome would be
change, then some people would be more willing to sacrifice it. Other people are looking at it like, dog, you can go do all of that, lose this, and it's not going to stop nothing over there. So that's an objection.
That's
for
real,
a lot of
but
people.
the problem is, what we know for sure is change won't happen unless we make sacrifice.
That's true.
That's the other side of that, and until everybody's willing to make that kind of sacrifice, we won't have any certainty.
Well, we wouldn't know. Yeah, I agree with you.
So shout out to everybody who's actually fighting for freedom and willing to take some risks.
Yeah, shouts to y'all.
For sure.
That was a shout to y'all.
You think?
I think that's what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
No, it wasn't. It honestly wasn't. Like I said, we got to be. No, I'm tell you, I
it could be a shot to me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not.
I would tell you it was a shot.
He hit me.
and you're gonna do your song. What's your song? Get him.
No, it wasn't a shot at none of y'all.
Blacks killing them motherfucking blacks. Hey, you wouldn't listen to whitey, so now look what you did.
For me, it's a shot at the niggas that got $1 billion and won't do nothing. People got their own networks and won't do shit. We all, again, I understand, like, we got to be tactical. You know what I mean? But it's not a shot at. I'm kidding. Joe ain't got nowhere near $1 billion. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And if I did, I would block out the numbers.
It's just too many people there are people who are too big to fail that still ain't saying shit. And that's the people I'm actually frustrated with the most. That's all.
Got it.
Okay.
And for the pocket watchers out there, when I get $1 billion, there'll be signs. Just look out a window. If you live near me, just look out a window.
It's a Batman sign gonna be in the
I'm
world.
gonna be walking down the street naked, just throwing fucking money to the side. That's gonna be. I'm gonna reinvent what philanthropy looks like. Like, is that Jones sleepwalking again?
No, he'll wake down
throwing his fortune away.
Yo, with the starlit pictures like this.
Oh shit! Lord.
Back on the ground. Oh man, that is hilarious. Sound like that dude that passed and had part of his will. He wanted a helicopter. Right? Yeah,
did the car wash dude?
The helicopter dropped the money out.
Yeah.
Where was this?
Look at you ready to.
Yeah, you missed it.
Look at you. You ready to go? You ready to run off?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was Detroit. After this funeral, they had the helicopter go and just drop the money.
It's like falling on a Brinks truck, and it just opens up on the highway.
Okay, so now a Brinks truck.
I'd be mad
you're
as
driving.
hell that don't happen.
Now you're driving down the road. Brinks truck open. Are you parking and getting out? And remember your citizenship is, if you get locked up, it's over.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Really?
1,000%, yes.
Okay.
Hopefully,
How much money do you think you're gonna get?
Exactly.
When a Brinks truck opens up?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money that come out of there.
Yeah.
But how much is
You
it?
gotta go run around and snatch it all up before there's other people.
Okay. How much you think you could put in your pockets at one
That
time?
far, yeah, that's the question.
It would go everywhere.
You're gonna get $600.
You're gonna get about $69,000 and risk your whole career in citizenship on 70-80 grand.
I wouldn't be the only one doing
You're not
it.
getting 80 grand, bro. I don't know how big your pockets.
If you just subtract 2 morals, we could get it done.
We'll talk about that off
Like
camera.
if you gonna do all that for 69 grand, see, work smarter now, harder, yo. All right, forget it. God damn it. Wait till I come back in another life.
You see,
When I come back in another life,
You see a man on trial, you better stop playing. Yo. Oh man, son.
who's gonna try?
Puff. Never.
Oh my fucking joke.
Sorry. Sorry. I know you ain't talking about fucking joke.
Yeah.
What we got?